guys. So we have some more very interesting, powerful alignments going on yet again today as we are on our way closing out this astrological lunar year 2021, heading towards our new moon in Aries that's coming up right around the corner. But we have a Mercury-Neptune conjunction going on exact today, you guys. It's been building over the past couple of days, coming to exact today. Mercury is a quick moving planet, so this is not going to be a long aspect, but you may want to hold off on making important decisions today, and we'll talk about why in the report. We also have the moon in Sagittarius today squaring Mercury, Neptune, and also Jupiter in conjunction and triggering black moon energy. So we got that going on as well. And we also have Mars still in a square to Uranus. Don't forget, this energy is no longer exact, but very much still present. So we got a lot to talk about yet again today in our beautiful astrological overlook. So let's jump in. Did I say overlook? Astrological outlook. So let's jump into it. Welcome back to my channel, everybody. Today is Thursday, March 24th, 2022. My name is Aubrey, and this is your astrological outlook, not overlook, although overlook, I guess, could be a relatively parallel synonym that we could use to describe what we're doing here. But anyways, astrological outlook, overlook of the day. Let's talk about it. Very like spiritual woo-woo vibes we got going on today, but there's also definitely the sense of like really wanting to take action in some type of way, but also really not wanting to take action in some type of way that may be bringing up some type of internal conflict that we're dealing with today. A lot going on. Number one, as I said in my intro, Mercury and Neptune coming into a conjunction. This happened, we're opening the day in this energy today. Throughout the day, Mercury will actually, as I said, Mercury is a fast-moving planet. Mercury will move out of exact conjunction, but we are in this Mercury-Neptune energy today. And there is like really two very distinct sides to Mercury and Neptune in conjunction. It's just interesting because Mercury also rules the twins and polarities and the sign of Gemini and things being like, polar opposite in nature, but also the same. Very interesting vibe Gemini can have a tendency of being. It also rules choices and decisions. This is one reason I'm saying we may want to hold off on any important decisions today. But anyways, there are really two ways that this energy can operate. On one hand, it can make us feel like a very subtle way of sort of dealing with our expression, dealing with our personal self-expression. It can make us highly, highly creative, highly, highly intuitive, very much so concerned with sort of understanding like the deeper sides of life and interconnection and reality and our connection to all that is in the spiritual world and stuff like that. However, the flip side of this energy is that it can also pull us sometimes into a sense of fantasy or illusion that can have us just not seeing things clearly or properly. And definitely with this energy going on today, especially with Jupiter right there as well, expanding it. On one hand, this is definitely bringing us some insight, some awareness, some understanding in terms of our own spiritual growth or what has been personally going on with us in our path that we've been walking and perhaps the experiences that we've been navigating and like the deeper truths of our own reality. This energy is very much so exposing to us. However, when it comes to like practical, mundane decision making or making determinations right now or making judgment calls right now, this is probably not the day to do it. We can become a little bit confused or a little bit just unclear or disoriented in our logical cognitive thought processes. This energy is definitely interfering with our logical thinking, our streamlined thinking, like our grounded, practical, down to earth, logic based choices, decisions, thought patterns, not really operating on their full octave today. Very much so about just this connection though, this connection to a higher power and the expansion that this is bringing our mind and our perception and the lens through which we're viewing reality, very, very much going on in this energy. But it may be having a tendency to have us sort of avoiding making decisions in this energy too. We may just be like inherently doing this because this also is an energy that can cause a sense of avoidance, especially when it comes to like difficult conversations, again, these difficult choices or decisions, and also like any type of verbal confrontation that may need to happen. This energy may give us a tendency to kind of like want to like hide from or avoid any type of these difficult, more verbal confrontation type scenarios. Mercury in a conjunction to Neptune doesn't necessarily like really want to have that going on. Although on the flip side of that, we got to remember we do have Mars still in a square to Uranus, and this is really pushing and driving for very rebellious behavior, like very independent, over the top, revolting, breaking free, breaking away, really like heading out in our own direction, making radical dynamic changes. This is a very explosive energy coming through. So it's kind of hard to say. It's sort of a toss-up in this vibe, but we also have that moon in Sagittarius that is going to be forming a square today to this Mercury, Neptune, and also Jupiter conjunction as well. So this is bringing another dynamic into things, but generally, just to wrap up this Mercury-Neptune conjunction energy that we have going on, this is really beautiful, and this is actually a really, really crucial, important part of the transitional process right now that we're going through into the age of Aquarius. It's really expanding us, expanding our mind. It's like spiritually refining the way that we are thinking and viewing and perceiving ourselves and our own reality, and is definitely bringing some truths and cracking through some illusions as well. This energy with Jupiter here is also busting through illusions, but we may just feel a little bit disoriented today in this energy. And remember, we also are dealing with Black Moon energy today right now, and the Black Moon is in Gemini, ruled by Mercury, ruled by the planet Mercury. And so this is really saying, and the moon lines up in an exact opposition to the Black Moon today. And it's interesting also because the Black Moon right now is in an opposition to the galactic center, which is where the moon will be when it aligns with 27 degrees of Sagittarius, is the degree of the galactic center. And the moon is going to be at the galactic center today when it is making the opposition to the Black Moon, who's currently opposing the galactic center. And again, the Black Moon is in the sign of Gemini, ruled by Mercury, who's in this really beautiful healing, also very healing, spiritual, mental energy conjunction. And so there is a huge feature and aspect of this energy and of this Mercury, Neptune, Jupiter conjunction today that is actually really trying to help us heal and transcend our shadow side issues, and really, again, gain this profound spiritual understanding or spiritual knowing or conscious awareness of the subconscious programming or the shadow side issues or the darker aspects of our psyche that have been holding us back and keeping us in bondage to any self-sabotaging patterns that have been hindering our ability to grow and move forward in life as we, continue to manifest and recreate and attract what we are holding in the contents of our subconscious mind, and these shadow side urges, shadow side drives replaying themselves until we can learn the lesson. And Mercury also rules lessons. The sign of Gemini also rules lessons. And so with Mercury in the conjunction to Neptune today, with Jupiter there too, ruling truth, expanding, giving us this really profound, and also like it's insight into it on an emotional level too, because this is happening in Pisces. It's a water sign, really, really helping us, especially also with that opposition going on with the galactic center. The galactic center is the one point in the zodiac that really represents like the point from which all wisdom and spiritual creation emanates. It's like the source code point of the zodiac. And when there's a planet aspecting the galactic center, this brings a huge infusion of like divine wisdom and divine light. And when we're talking about the moon coming into the conjunction with the galactic center today, this is our emotions aligning with that higher level of like profound and divine wisdom, while our mind is also aligning with this higher level of profound and divine wisdom. Mercury in the conjunction to the galactic, or to Neptune and Jupiter. And then we're talking about that moon conjunct the galactic center in an exact opposition to the Black Moon, which is these unresolved issues that are holding us back, blocking our progress, and keeping us in these cycles of manifesting and perpetuating these lessons. And so there is this huge, and this is what we are actually reflecting on emotionally with the opposition, the reflection, the mirror image going on between the moon in Sagittarius, the oppositional sign to Gemini. So these aspects in and of themselves today, very much so intertwined, talking about this merger on a much higher spiritual vibration in terms of not only our mental body today, but also our emotional body, and the impact that it's having on really helping us to release, transcend, heal, and clear our own shadows that have been blocking our progress moving forward into this new paradigm, where it is very, very crucial, imperative that we realign our vibration in this way so that we can get back to a more centered, heart-based vibration and frequency so that we can create and attract everything that this 222 magical 222 year is trying to bring us, which is very much so aligned with miracles and abundance and our soul's truest form of an expression of fulfillment, both through what we are creating from our own authentic resources and potential, and also what we are magnetizing and attracting into our life through this realignment with our own heart center and the value that we hold inside of us. And therefore, we are able to begin attracting, magnetizing things of that equal value externally, which are trying to bring us this fulfillment in alignment with this 222 numerology coming in this year. These two true soul fulfilling connections, partnerships, unions, our own connection within ourselves and our connection to source and a higher power, and also our ability to create from that place of inward integration and produce these beautiful things that can bring us tangible success in this external world. Also right now with the North Node in the sign of Taurus, the direction that we're heading, where we're going, the second sign of the zodiac, again, emphasizing these 222 numbers. And we're going to have the North Node in Taurus this entire 2022. So it's all tying together. And it's all tying together to take us down this path of spiritual enlightenment so that we can truly begin to create the age of Aquarius from this place of self-mastery, self-knowledge, self-empowerment, all of these Aquarian frequencies and vibrations that are helping us to manifest this new age in correspondence with the divine blueprint that is unfolding absolutely beautifully, which is what we're looking at every day on this channel and narrating as it unfolds. So that's like really, in a nutshell, the vibes that we have going on, taking out of consideration Mars and Uranus, which is still very much in effect, and without having considered the aspect that is also happening between the moon and Sagittarius, a mutable sign, and also this trilogy of planets in a conjunction in Pisces, also a mutable sign. So we have this square that's coming in. Let's talk about that for a minute. Okay, so we know we have this energy ongoing right now that is really trying to open our eyes and show us the truth of any illusions that we've been operating under. And this process in and of itself may be causing a little bit of confusion, to put it mildly. We'll just say it like that. And this is, also very much intensified by the fact that we do have Mars and Uranus still in a square. This is a really dynamic aspect that is creating probably some very abrupt changes and things just really happening out of the blue. Fights may be happening, just heated situations or really fast-paced, like action-based impulsive actions and stuff just like randomly happening that are really changing things in some type of a way. That is what is being represented by the Mars-Uranus square that we have going on. Also, though, this square that we have between the moon and Sagittarius today, opposing the black moon, let's not forget we have black moon energy. This may definitely be kicking up some of those fears, worries, doubts, insecurities today in the midst of this Mercury Neptune energy. And it, again, may be causing us to question ourselves, question our beliefs, question, if what we feel or what we're perceiving, if our intuition is actually true or not. Maybe some insecurities, doubts, worries, fears about what will become of us, the direction of the future, like if we've made the right choice or not. But again, with the moon in opposition, conjunct the galactic center, we really, in our gut, in our intuition, deep inside, we know the answers to our questions. And we really need to not be in fear at this point in time. This energy is just trying to bring us a conscious awareness of our shadows, of what may still be holding us back, or where we still may be lacking control over our own lacking mastery over our own mental process, or our own emotions. But also, the moon in Sagittarius, like I've said several times, is forming this square to the planets in Pisces. This could definitely, as I said in the beginning, be bringing up sort of a conflict between the desire to really get out there and take action or express ourselves in some way, and a very similar desire not to take action or to avoid taking that exact same action. With the moon in Sagittarius, this is really fiery. This could really have us being very, this could be some high powered emotions that we have going on, very fiery emotions, very wanting to say our truth, wanting to express how we're feeling inside, what's on our mind, our beliefs, our real true feelings about the situation, but sort of hitting this inner conflict of simultaneously with Mercury in the conjunction to Neptune, not wanting to engage in a verbal conflict or a verbal battle, like not wanting to have difficult conversations, maybe like not wanting to have to face the problem or make the choice. So there could definitely be some type of internal angst or frustration or conflict that we're dealing with today, just in sort of terms of where our head and where our emotions are, even though we're very much on the same page in terms of those things as well. It's so interesting because with these exact same planets, they're indicating like two very different things. Remember I said there was like two ways that this energy can express itself, and we're dealing with Mercury, who deals in polarities. We're also dealing with a black moon today, who deals in polarities in the sign of Gemini, ruling polarities and the twins. So very two distinct features of this energy today, very much like wanting to do one thing but also not wanting to do that thing like at all, and feeling like very much emotionally compelled to do one thing, but then like mentally not really thinking that that's a good idea at all. So that's like sort of the dynamic that we're dealing with, but simultaneously there is this profound sense of emotional enlightenment going on, and also this profound sense of mental enlightenment going on. So there's this like massive conscious and emotional expansion that is, you know, being integrated and fused together, and simultaneously this conflict going on between how to navigate that, I guess we could say. So, you know, very interesting. This energy, though, is bringing up these spiritual truths. We're reflecting on these shadows, wanting to rebel against things, but also wanting to avoid conflict. Like very much this, it's very back and forth type energy today. But ultimately, at the end of the day, when all is said and done in the dynamics of the energies that are setting up today, we cannot not deny the truth anymore. The truth is what we're figuring out. It is being laid before us. It is becoming quite clear and apparent. We are realizing the things that we really need to move on from. We are seeing things from a whole new perspective, a whole new elevated perspective, the big picture, and things are, you know, making more sense. Although we may be in sort of a state of confusion about what we're finding out, about these revelations, about like just having, you know, needing some time, I think, essentially to process everything that we are coming to in this energy right now. And again, especially it's so interesting with that moon lining up with the galactic center in opposition to the black moon, also in the sign of Gemini, talking about Mercury, while the moon also forms that square. It really is like we're sort of being pulled in two different directions today. And on one hand, we are really seeing the truth of things, but then it's sort of like, how can this be real? Like, this can't be real. Like, this is what appears to be real. This is what I'm pretty sure is real. All signs are pointing to this direction being the one. However, like, that is, you know, I need to, you know, sort of wait and see for a minute. And I really want to act on this, you know, new reality, this new like viewpoint, this feeling that I feel like is real, but I'm just not exactly sure of how real it is right now. So I kind of don't want to act on it at all. That might be a really bad idea. It may have been a confusing way that I just said that, but that's sort of like how the vibe is that I'm feeling today in this energy. But at the end of the day, and also you guys, we had such an interesting tarot message come through, we're going to talk about it in a minute, in the context of the Sabian symbols and the aspects that are in effect today as well. And there is definitely just this overall theme going on today of this mind, body, spirit realignment and this reintegration of especially the mental and emotional body, but of course also that then translates into the physical body as well, that is elevating us and that is actually going to be helping us move forward and do this vibrational shift so that we can start attracting our abundance. It's actually freeing us mentally. It's very clear coming through like across the board today in the energy. So let's talk about the Sabian symbols for a second before we get into the tarot. The first thing I should say, for those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. And for those of you who are just unaware of the Sabian symbols, what they are is a group of symbols that describes each and every one of the 360 degrees of the zodiac. Whenever we have a planet at a specific point, discharging a degree, making an aspect, we can look at the Sabian symbol and it just gives us more information about what the overall purpose of this aspect might be in the context of this grand unfolding astrological story that is always and perpetually carrying us through time and space. So me as an astrologer, I always like to read the Sabian symbols alongside the aspects because I like to read the unfolding blueprint, and I feel like they just give us more clarity in terms of that process. And so that is the Sabian symbols, and I'm always reading them alongside my work. And on that note, because I read the Sabian symbols, you guys, I'm always rounding up a degree when I'm reading the charts, because when we read Sabian symbols, we round up a degree because we read the wave of energy that is incoming and starting to express and manifest instead of the wave that is like outgoing and beginning to dissipate. So when we're talking about reading Sabian symbols, we're always rounding up a degree. So that's what I'm doing too. So when I say that the sun today is at 5 degrees of Aries in the context of these Sabian symbols, it's actually at like 4 degrees and something minutes of Aries, but I'm reading 5 because I'm reading the Sabian symbols, and I personally have found as an astrologer that it is just a good way to do things. So that's how I like to do things. But anyways, 5 degrees of Aries, where the sun is placed today, that Sabian symbol is a triangle with wings. And so for me, this is talking about this integration, this mind, body, spirit integration that is actually elevating us, and that this is, being spoken about in the aspects, in the transits today. The mind and the emotional body, both on the same page of gaining this enlightened spiritual conscious awakening, both on an internal intuitive feeling based level and also on a conscious cognitive level, happening simultaneously. And I feel like this is talking about this integration within us that is going on, the Holy Trinity within us being spoken about by this aspect, the triangle, the 3 sides with wings. This is what we need to be doing at this point in the process to begin elevating so that we can fly and go, seize our destiny and make the most of our experience and attract this 222 abundance, fulfillment, divine connections, true love into our lives. We have the Earth today at 5 degrees of Libra. This Sabian symbol is a man revealing to his students the foundation of an inner knowledge upon which a new world could be built. Like, talk about profound symbolism for the Earth today in the context of these aspects that are going on, and that we are closing out this like fulcrum point year in our transition into the age of Aquarius, heading towards the new moon in Aries that is coming up very soon, that will really start our energetic 2022 year. And this is talking about everything that is happening right now, and it's also talking about the aspects. A man revealing, Jupiter in Pisces revealing, bringing revelations to his students, Mercury ruling students, the foundation of this inner knowledge, the moon and the galactic center line up upon which a new world can be built, this recreated version of ourselves, this enhanced vibrational shift that we're going through that is helping us to create this new world, this new paradigm, this age of Aquarius. It is all wrapped up in this day, this Holy Trinity within us, this mind, body, spirit infusion, this awakening of the mental body and the emotional body coming online together, even though there may be a bit of a conflict and a push and pull and a lack of ability to truly see things for what they really are, tangibly, physically, like 3D in this energy. It is still happening, and we are still embracing it on an energetic level as this unfolds. And this degree of the Earth today in the context of all of this energy is definitely, and Mars still in the square to Uranus, this is definitely trying to have us break through into this new paradigm in a very dynamic way. A man revealing to his students the foundation of an inner knowledge upon which a new world could be built. What's going on the ground today, based also on this triangle with wings. So I am loving these symbols that we have in the context of the energy. We have Mercury today for that conjunction with Neptune at 24 degrees of Pisces, an inhabited island. This degree to me is talking about having all of the resources within us, all the resources that we need within us in order to be able to sustain ourselves, and not only to sustain ourselves, but to also thrive. And with Mercury in Pisces in the conjunction to Neptune at this degree, I feel like this is talking about the spiritual resources, the spiritual connection, the faith within ourselves, in ourselves, and also, in our connection to the higher powers and the universe, that we are having this faith, and that is really, solidifying the connection that we have within ourselves and the resources, again, that this represents to be able to sustain ourselves through whatever we may be navigating going forward. And also it's sort of saying that we're coming to a point where we are not going to be so reliant upon external anything to be able to maintain our vibration, to be able to maintain our mindset as well. So very interesting. And then after that, remember I said Mercury will begin the day in the conjunction, but will then move on because he moves so quickly. Mercury will move to 25 degrees of Pisces. That Sabian symbol is the purging of the priesthood. This to me is representing purging of the past belief systems that are no longer in alignment with the truths, the spiritual truths that we're discovering now, and really clearing out the contents of our psyches and our belief systems. Again, moon conjunct the galactic center opposite the black moon, like talking about this, really clearing out our closet, staring into the shadows and like infusing it with this divine light that is coming through and this conscious awareness that we're gaining, and allowing us to truly purge, especially we've had so much Pluto energy going on as lately too, to purge and transform the darker aspects of our psyche, this black moon energy that has been keeping us in repeated patterns of essentially self-sabotage and prohibiting our growth going forward. But now we are gaining all of this beautiful new understanding. And that is allowing us to purge our own priesthood. Now, on a geopolitical, more macro level, this could definitely be talking about rooting out corruption, and we could be seeing it in the news and in the headlines. However, everybody be very, 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 I'm putting an exclamation point on this, very, very, very careful about the news actually being as it appears right now, like things actually being as they appear in the headlines, because again, with Mercury in conjunction to Neptune, this rules narratives, this rules false narratives, this rules projections, this rules illusions, this rules deceptions, and confusion as well. And news, media, social media, stuff like that, because of Mercury ruling those things in the conjunction to Neptune, we need to be very, very careful right now that we are not being like hypnotized in some type of way by some type of like false headlines or false narratives or false projections that may be going on like a macro level, just in terms of the news and the information that is coming right now. Because yeah, definitely a red flag there in this energy. There could definitely be some just like mass illusion sort of being cast. However, again, we're seeing through it on an individual level. And if we're not seeing through it on a conscious level, our heart knows, like our soul knows, our intuition knows, is gaining the ability to discern between the illusion, the hypnosis, the confusion, the deception, and the truth, or what is real and true and authentic for us in this energy. So that's another thing that I wanted to say with this degree also, the reason I started saying that Mercury at the purging of the priesthood, we could definitely be seeing some headlines about some corruption being rooted out, or abuses of power being addressed, stuff like that coming through as well. But again, just be careful, because there could be some like just false news information, like hypnotic. Yeah, and I'm only saying that literally because of the degree placements of the planets right now. So just something to keep in mind. We also have Venus today, you guys, though. On the other hand of that, at 18 degrees of Aquarius right now, a man's secret motives are being publicly unmasked. So I should say with this, the last time that this degree came up and there was like an emphasis on it, that's when like the majority of the mask mandates dropped and stuff. So we could actually see more mask mandates lifted with Venus at this degree. I don't know, just saying that because it happened last time. But this is also, again, talking about that exposure, exposing things that have been hidden, like breaking an illusion of something, the mask coming off, the veil being lifted. And this is Venus. This is talking about in terms of our desires and in terms of what we want and in terms of financial situations as well. And so there is that. Interesting in the context of these other Sabian symbols. And then we have Jupiter and Saturn actually at two very similar degrees. Jupiter is currently right now at a table set for an evening meal. And Saturn just moved to 22 Aquarius. And that Sabian symbol is a rug placed on the floor for children to play. So Jupiter and Saturn, these are pretty big planets that are talking about a lot of times collective energy, but are also very important in our personal lives. And with both of them at these degrees, I feel like this is talking about like on a grand scale and on a scale in our personal lives, like the stage is set, like things are in place, like everything is set up. I feel like we're sort of anticipating or waiting for something to happen right now. And with also Uranus in square to Mars, things definitely could be happening. But I feel like this is saying that like the pieces are in place, like things are set up, the table is set, like the stage is set, like any way that you want to think about it, like things are in place right now. Things are set up for something to happen, for something to fall in place, for some type of divinely orchestrated event to occur. So I find it very interesting that we have both of those planets at degrees, really sort of talking about the same thing, like things being set in place for some type of activity to begin going on. And then the last Sabian symbol that I want to talk about today is the position of the black moon. Since this black moon is, in fact, the black moon is at 28 degrees of Gemini right now, which is actually technically 1 degree off of the galactic center opposition. That would be 27 Gemini, but still very, very close conjunction. And this Sabian symbol is a man declared bankrupt. And this to me is sort of, honestly, like I feel like this is a very good summary for sort of like the collective energy and what we're going through generally right now in this very transformative metamorphosis, collective like recreation, rebirth process that we're going on, because this symbol is speaking to having to surrender, having to forfeit, what we have built, what we have put our time and energy and passion into, but it's because it wasn't like suited to us properly, or we couldn't manage it because it wasn't aligned properly to us. But on the other hand, it also is totally liberating us, totally freeing us, giving us this totally blank slate, this totally blank canvas to go on and create this whole new experience, this whole new fresh opportunity at recreating ourselves in alignment with what is authentic and what is right and what is true to us now, that can genuinely help us to manifest and bring this fulfillment, this abundance, these true soul connections, this true love that is trying to come to us in this year. So a man declared bankrupt, this may seem like, sort of like a more melancholy degree for the black moon to be at right now, but I also feel like this is actually offering a lot of hope, especially in the current circumstances that we're in right now, which is all about recreation. And that's what this is doing, is giving us a blank slate to recreate ourselves. And that's especially what we need in terms of our subconscious mind and these black moon issues right now. We really need to clear that slate and reprogram our own mind through our own self mastery in a way that can promote this positive attraction, this positive us attracting the things, magnetizing the things to us that we really, really are in alignment with us, and that will bring us that sense of fulfillment. So the black moon at this degree may definitely be bringing up fears, worries, doubts about like what is to become of us, what is to happen now, can we truly rebuild? But that's what the universe wants us to do. It wants us to recreate ourselves. It wants us to rebuild. It wants us to tap into our own truth, our own authentic creative potential, and what we love, what we desire, what we're passionate about. And it wants us to make our life built around that. And it is promising to bring us the opportunities that support that, to bring us the connections that support that, to bring us the love and the fulfillment that will benefit us as we go through that experience and help us to maximize our own potential. But we need to be making the changes, especially with Mars in the square to Uranus right now, that can move us in that direction towards like igniting or taking initiative towards that process. So that's what we have going on in terms of the astrology and the Sabian symbols today. Very, very interesting day. Again, I feel like it's talking about this need to get on the same page within ourselves, within our mind, within our emotions, within our body, really like refuse, reintegrate. And that is what is making us powerful. That, and it's also the divine feminine, divine masculine that have been reintegrating and coming back online within us as well, igniting our ability to have a centered, balanced heart space that can resonate to that unconditional love energy, and also our divine willpower that can support it and like fuel that process of creation that can come from it. So this is all like, it is all happening in this energy. And, reuniting the forces within ourselves is a strong message that we have going on today. But it's also happening, as above, so below. It's just organically happening in this message or in this energy. And I guess the one thing that we really have to look out for today is that conflict that could be going on between what we're realizing, what we want to be doing with it, but also perhaps questioning what we're realizing and maybe really not thinking that we should take action at this time. But with Mars square Uranus, again, if there's action that needs to be taken that's not being taken, universe is probably going to come in and create some scenario that, forces things in a certain direction, because that is what Mars and Uranus do together. And that is what Uranus always does generally anyways. So that's what we got for the astrology today, you guys. Very interesting day. Let's talk about the tarot cards. Again, I'm excited to talk about these cards today because it's like, because I do the cards first, like I get the cards first, and I'm always like, oh, that's an interesting message. And then I'll sit down to like write my notes for the report, and I'll see, you know, how these cards are actually playing into the energy. And a lot of times it just blows my mind. But anyways, the first card that we had coming out of the deck today in regards to the tarot situation was the Eight of Swords, and it is in reverse. The second card that we had coming out of the deck today was the another Eight of Wands, and it is upright. The third card that we had coming out of the deck today was the Three of Cups. Very interesting. And then the fourth card that we have coming out of the deck today was the Ten of Cups. Now, it was in reverse. However, like I say, the fact that this card is even here is telling us that this is the potential. Whether or not this is our experience at the moment, this is the potential, okay? And then on the back of the deck, we had the Magician again. Yes. Oh, and then actually under that, we have the Ace of Wands, and then under that we have the Six of Wands, and then under that we have the Two of Cups, and then under that we have Justice. That is so crazy. That is so crazy, because when I was shuffling the deck this morning, I got like the first card, like I had to reshuffle because so many cards came out of the deck that I was like, I cannot do this many cards. Like, that will be too confusing. It will be too time consuming. Like, I need a shorter message. And so I just got these 4 cards and then the back of the deck. But then I take that card off the back of the deck, and then like there's several more cards under there that are continuing on in the message. Apparently I was just supposed to take a lot of cards today. So I got to do it now because that's that. But okay, let's get to the top. So interesting. So the first card that we have to look at is the Eight of Swords. This is the Eight of Swords. This is a card about being in a self-imposed mental prison. This is Black Moon energy right here. This is where we are enslaved to our circumstances through our inability to see how we are actually creating ourselves through our own mind and our own mental process and our own unconscious subconscious programming. But in reverse, this is talking about freeing ourselves from these mental constraints and gaining a sense of enlightenment as a result of that. Our mind being open, our mind being liberated, us cutting through the bondage that has been keeping us in a state of not being able to perceive the truth of our reality because we are blindfolded essentially by our own thoughts. In reverse, this is talking about gaining clarity, awareness that is freeing us from our own karmic loops, from our own self-sabotaging cycles. And then we got the Eight again of Wands. The Eight of Wands is about quick forward movement towards something. Very quick forward movement towards something. So then we got the Three of Cups. Very interesting to me because if you remember, the position of the sun today was a triangle with wings. This Three of Cups in this circumstance to me in the context of this energy, and this is what I thought when the card first came out too. I was like, oh, I feel like in this context, that Three of Cups is talking about the need for this mind, body, spirit, or this just like holy trinity, you know, within us energy, reintegration going on. I got that sense. And then I looked at the Sabian Symbols, and that was also talking about a triangle with wings. And triangle with wings, I mean, the Eight of Wands, that's like the wings. Like, that is the forward movement through the air. These wands are like jutting forward through the air. And we're talking about this reunion, this reintegration. And the Cups, this is also representing an emotional level as well. And then we had the Swords here representing our mentality. And then, as I said, we had the Ten of Cups. So when I put these cards together, what I feel like this is saying is it's like we are realizing that this conscious awareness that we are gaining right now, this ability to essentially see again after being blindfolded by perhaps our own delusions or our own false belief systems or our own inability to see the bigger picture in things or our own subconscious programming. We are cracking through this, and it's happening fast, very fast. And what it is doing is creating this reintegration, the triangle with wings, that is helping us to essentially come back into our power with the Magician on the back of the deck. This is an alchemical transmutive like process. This is a transformation, inner transformation that is going on within us that is helping us to take our manifestations from lack and not having the things that are truly bringing us emotional fulfillment in our lives to true abundance. This process that is being spoken about by these cards on that came out today. It's like this mental liberation that we're going through right now is creating this very fast, like, refusion of energy within us that is actually in this alchemization process is actually bringing us to that triangle with wings, that state of enhanced self-mastery that is helping us to take any state of unfulfillment or lack or just, feeling detached from the things that will bring us the greatest ability to rise into our destiny and experience the truth of what we really deserve in this reality. That is what is going to help us flip that scenario and begin to really magnetize and attract. This card, this 10 of Cups, to me also represents this 222 year. It's about these miracles and this fulfillment, this ultimate emotional fulfillment, just this total like abundance on the emotional level in terms of the joy and the connection and the fulfillment coming through. It's all hinged right now on our ability to break ourselves free from this mental prison that we've been going through. And it is very much, us healing and alchemizing these things within us based on this union, this reintegration of this energy, this mind, body, spirit, refusion, reconnection that is driving all of it. And it is helping us to realign with the things that will ultimately bring us that greatest sense of fulfillment. And then, once I took that Magician card on the back of the deck, off the back of the deck, then we had the Ace of Wands. This is talking about happening during this equinox season. Ace of Wands, the first of fire. We just passed the equinox, the first degree of the first day of the first degree of the first fire sign being discharged by the sun, and this new inspiration, this new chance, this new opportunity, this fresh rebirth of expression and creative passion and potential. And then we had the Six of Wands. This is bringing sure victory. And then we had under that, the Two of Cups. This is another card to me talking about this 222 year, this 222 energy that is about bringing in these soul connections. And once we go through this process of transmuting our own vibration based on this ability to break ourselves free from this mental like prison or these subconscious programs that have not been allowing us to attract this 10 of Cups and this 2 of Cups, like we're having victory about it. The Six of Wands was in there. And then right after that, we got Justice. And so this is actually, this process is setting things right. It's rebalancing the scales. It is just balancing out the energy and is restoring the peace ultimately. So it ended up being a very long tarot message again, even though I tried once not to make that happen. But that is apparently what universe wanted today. And that is a very powerful message in the context of this astrology that we also have going on today. Like it matches so perfectly. So interesting. So that's the message from the tarot cards today, and it seems very much in alignment with the message coming from the stars. Now let's grab a synchronicity card and see just one more little piece of advice or guidance that God wants to give us today to help navigate these energies. It could be, black moon. Oh, there's one that flipped over. We've never gotten this card before. Let's read it. It says, love equals respect. The children of this world are given in marriage. Luke 20:34. God is love. And when true love in the heart unites a man and a woman, it is God joining a couple. When difficulties and arguments occur, dissolve the problem in the light of God's love. Love, goodwill, and understanding are the keys to all human understanding. Respect one another. Refusing to treat one another with respect will cause more harm than any other act. Very, very interesting that this is the message that comes out today. Actually, for the first time ever, like I said, we've never gotten this card today. When we have this push and pull that is going on between the things that moon in Sagittarius with the opposing the black moon with the galactic center and these Pisces planets that we have going on, this conflict between this desire to take action and to avoid taking action, and this Mars-Uranus square as well. Probably definitely some things that we should keep in mind in this energy, especially Mars and Uranus does have a tendency to bring up very like ignited arguments and stuff like that. When difficulties and arguments occur, dissolve the problem in the light of God's love. This is also though coming through with Neptune, Jupiter, and Mercury in conjunction. God love, goodwill, and understanding are the keys to all human understanding. Respect one another. Refusing to treat one another with respect will cause more harm than any other act. And that is definitely what we should keep in mind today with this Mars-Uranus energy and this impulsive stuff that we have going on. But it's also interesting because this is talking about when true love in the heart unites a man and a woman, it is God joining a couple. And this is the messages, some of the messages that we had coming out in the tarot today in terms of what this energy is moving us towards. This 10 of Cups, it wants us to break these mental chains so that we can align with this, you know, true love energy. And then also this 2 of Cups, this is also part of this energy. This is what we are gaining victory over. This is what this path is leading us towards. And we do have all this very, very spiritual energy today. And so we just need to keep in mind, we need to exactly have respect in our dealings and maybe, you know, consider that when we are navigating whether or not we should take some type of like verbal action today or not, you know, or any type of action today or not. But definitely, I feel like this is also saying the more that we can come to that heart-based unconditional love alignment within us, the more, like, the sooner we are going to be able to get on our path to attracting these true fulfillment connections coming in and God joining us with our divine unions, which again, 222 year, that is what is symbolized by the numerology that is happening all year long. So that's what we got for the astrology today, you guys. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. I hope I was able to provide something of value for you guys. Share it with your friends if you think they'd be interested. Leave me comments, you guys. I really love your comments. I love knowing how these energies are affecting you, how they're playing out for you in your own lives. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for being here. I have a Facebook page, a Facebook group, an Instagram, a TikTok, and a website. Those are linked in my description box below if you're interested in any of those. And come back with me tomorrow, you guys. We'll have a lot more astrology to talk about as we are closing out this astrological lunar year 2021, heading towards our new moon in Aries right around the corner. So have a beautiful day, everybody, and I will see you back here tomorrow. Bye, guys.